Pakistan is in a tailspin. The country is running short of cash and is facing high inflation. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has agreed to accept the tough IMF conditions, as he says, unwillingly in quotations, to receive a bailout package. So much so that Finance Minister Ishaq Dar took to Twitter to announce $700 million loan from China to shore up its foreign exchange reserves. Weekly inflation rates have crossed 40% last week, and the government had to announce a mini budget to raise rupees 170 billion in taxes in till June as part of the tough IMF conditions. In the meanwhile, the leaders of the country and the kingmakers of the country, the Pakistani army, instead of fighting the problems of the country, are as usual fighting themselves. Former Army Chief General Bajwa calls Imran Khan dangerous for the country, and Imran Khan is by far the most popular leader in Pakistan. And Imran, in turn, wants an inquiry against General Bajwa for, among other things, planning a regime change, which he earlier attributed to the United States. As the economy sinks and the leaders fight, TTP is gaining ground, and China must be worried. It's $62 billion China-Pakistan economic corridor, which was supposed to be its getaway from the Malacca syndrome, is stuck with no end in sight. To discuss all these issues, we are honored to have with us General V.P.Malik, former Chief of Army Staff. Welcome to Samvad, sir.
Thank you, Mayank. It's always a pleasure to discuss these topics with you.
It remains an honor, sir. Sir, the Pakistan Defense Minister Khwaja Asif has gone on record to say that Pakistan has defaulted. It is still negotiating a final bailout package from IMF. Global rating agencies have downgraded Pakistan's issuer default ratings. Weekly inflation has crossed 40%. So this Pakistan, as we all know, is a very young country, sir. Now, 63% of its population is between 50 to 33 years of age. So obviously they must be having aspirations. So what does this precarious economic conditions mean for this young demography, which has already escalating terror issues and has nuclear weapons? And the second part of this question, sir, before you have the floor, so as to say, is what will the impact this will have on the neighborhood?
Yes, it's a very a question which probably can be broken into so many parts. So I'll give you my take on this one by one. Firstly, there is still a very serious threat of Pakistan defaulting. And if it defaults, then it will have a very serious problem because it won't be able to get any loans from outsiders. It will not be able to get into bond market in the international market, and the economy will go further down. The whole economy will take a hit. Now, as far as the economy is concerned, already you have mentioned about the high rate of inflation. You have also mentioned about the rates of consumer goods going so high in the last few days, particularly those which are required in the kitchen, atta, dal, chawal, etc. Milk, for example. So that is the immediate impact, and obviously that is going to make people very unhappy. Mm-hmm. The other aspect of the present situation is on the banking, for example. A nation which is very close to default, people start losing faith and trust in the banking system because they do not know when the government may pull out their deposits in the banks. And so that again is a very serious situation that can occur when a nation is near a default. The stock markets also tend to crash. The value of the Pakistani rupee as it is has gone down. I think the other day I read 162 Pakistani rupees were equal, 162, maybe even higher, 262 Pakistani rupee. They are equivalent to $1. So that is the kind of situation that a common man feels, is already feeling. And the other thing that one has to realize is that today the Pakistani debt is a huge debt, almost about 62.5 trillion Pakistani rupees. And this year, Pakistan expects its revenue to be about 5.03 trillion. But the interest that they have to pay for the loans which they have already taken, that itself is 5.2 trillion. So this is the kind of situation, and they have no money for any development. They have no money for paying to their government employees. They have no money for education. They are running health services and even to pay the defense services. So with this kind of a situation, they need, and whatever they are getting, including $700 million from China and maybe a few other people, and the IMF may give them some loan now in the new situation. But all that money will only go to pay whatever the money the government has to for its running. So that is a very serious situation. And a common man, if he is not able to send his children to the school because he cannot afford it, he cannot go for health services. In such situation, the employment also is unemployment is going to increase. So with these situations, what can a common man expect? A common man who cannot send his children to government schools or private schools, he will send the children to madrasas, where they will get further radicalized situation. And that is going to affect not only Pakistan, but the neighbors also. So, it's a very serious situation today. And a common man is facing there. And on top of that, you have the political problem. You have mentioned about what is going on between Imran Khan and Bajwa. Just let me spend a little while on that. Imran Khan and his party were brought into power by Bajwa and the Pakistani military. And that is what Pakistani military has been doing, that when they find somebody who's prepared to support them and their causes, the military causes, so they managed to get him into the chair of the prime minister. But towards the end, Imran Khan's tenure, he felt bold like he was in the cricket field once upon a time. And he took on not only the USA and USA in particular, but also the Pakistani military. And he made some statements against the Pakistani military. He wanted to have his own man to be in the line for becoming the next chief, which obviously the Pakistani military and under Bajwa, they did not like it. Pakistan military will not permit any politician to interfere in their own establishment and their own affairs. So that was the start of his downfall. And now, just now that Bajwa has retired, let me assure you that Imran Khan is still not against the military, but he is now against Bajwa only, because Bajwa is now out of the army. So my feeling is that he's still hobnobbing with people in the army, hoping that they will get him back. But that's a different situation. It may or may not happen. In the meantime, what is going on between Imran Khan and Shahbaz Sharif, that is known to everybody. My own feeling, Mayank, is that both the establishment and the present political setup they will try and keep Imran Khan away from the elections. As it is, he is now, having to go to the courts. There are many charges which are Imran Khan has far too many skeletons in his own cupboard. So they will find some reason or the other to keep him away from the elections. And that is how probably then they will be able to hold the elections, which are due this year sometimes.
So when I was referring to the economic situation, sir, does this situation of the youngsters going to madrasas getting radicalized, TTP organizations like TTP, which draw inspiration from the same ideology, the same radicalism, and the nuclear arsenal, does this worry you?
Of course, it does worry. But let me first clarify on the TTP. See, the fact is today, TTP, which is primarily a Pashtun tribe organization, that has its roots not only in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, but also in all the transport system running between Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Balochistan to Karachi, which is a major port in Pakistan. So it has a large number of sympathizers spread all over Pakistan. The other thing is that let's not forget that almost about 20-25% personnel in the Pakistan army, they come from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. They are Pashtuns. And all the Pashtuns are together on Durand Line issue. Durand Line is the line between Afghanistan and Pakistan, which Pashtuns on either side in Afghanistan as well as in Pakistan, primarily in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, they do not recognize it. Incidentally, Mayank, I must tell you that I was also born in what is now Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. I was born in a place called Dera Ismail Khan. So having seen in my younger days, very young days, how the Pashtuns behave, how they used to come over to the town. So one knows. So they do not recognize Khyber, this Durand Line. And at one time, once I had an Afghan officer who was my student on the senior command course in the army. And he came and he told me, he said, sir, hopefully one day, India and Afghanistan, we will shake hands with each other along the Indus River. Now that is the kind of thinking on either side of Durand Line in Afghanistan as well as in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And these people coming up, they do because they will not only, they are already creating problems within Pakistan, but when they spread, including the kind of radicalization which is going on, which is common between the TTP as well as the radicalized Islamists in Pakistan. Then it's not only Pakistan but the whole region will have to worry. And when you have snakes in your neighborhood also, you have to worry about these snakes.
We have seen an increase of attacks on the security forces by the TTP, whereas the security forces, including the army, appear to be reluctant to take on the TTP this time around. Last time around, they had these operations where they wiped out the TTP. So what could be the reason behind this go slow approach against the TTP?
No, primarily because TTP has been raised by them at one time, by the Pakistan army. They have a large number of sympathizers within the organization. That is one reason. The other thing is that Pakistan army does realize that TTP primarily has a lot of hold along the border with Afghanistan. It's a very they have a large hold in this border area, which is a very sensitive area for them today. And the third reason that I mentioned to you, that there are a large number of Pashtuns who are in the Pakistan army. So, they do not want to go against them also. And all these Pashtuns have a common cause of Durand line and certain favorite inclination towards the TTP. So Pakistan Army will not be in a hurry to take action against TTP. They will permit their police, their rangers, etc., to take action against them and their politicians to come to some kind of an agreement, if possible, with the TTP. And their own action against the TTP will probably be the very last resort.
So you have seen the Pakistani army from very close. Why does the Pakistani army indulge in this? They have this habit of making and unmaking of political leaders. Imran Khan being the latest example. So what is the ideology of the Pakistani army which makes them do this?
Mayank, Pakistan Army over the years, as you know, for a very large number of years, ever since independence, I think it's almost about 1/3 of period that they have been ruling the country. You know, out of the 75 years of independence of Pakistan. And over the years, they have created a niche for themselves, political authority. They have the kind of economic clout that they have developed over the years, the kind of status that they enjoy, the social status that they enjoy, and the kind of perks that they are getting. So with all these things, Pakistan Army, earlier they were kingmakers when they were dictators. But over the years, now they have realized that instead of being the king, it is better to be a kingmaker. So they pick on these politicians and political parties which show certain loyalty to them and which are prepared to follow their diktats. And they try and put them into government seat or the prime minister's seat with the help of ISI. ISI has a very major clout in the political dispensation in Pakistan. So the Pakistan Army wants to retain the authority that it has acquired, political, social, and the status that it enjoys, the perks that it has got, the kind of economic clout that they have developed over the years. So they like to be kingmakers rather than king now, after all their experiences of dictatorship that some of the Pakistani chiefs have enjoyed.
The TTP is not the only problem we see. As you said, that Imran Khan, after his removal, earlier Imran Khan said that he and the Pakistani army were on the same page. And then they started to drift apart. Imran being called a security threat, Imran in turn asking for an inquiry. So do you think that the script this time around, because the Pakistani army is the one which is writing the script, I think everyone knows it. So has the script changed? Has it gone awry and the end game become very perilous with Imran Khan just refusing to bow out? He is persistent in his attacks. He's just refusing to bow down.
See, Imran Khan's downfall started when he started challenging not just USA, but also the Pakistani army. And that is where his downfall started. So my own feeling is that whether it is Imran Khan or Shehbaz Sharif or anybody who starts challenging the army will not let them retain the seat for long. They will go after them. That is one aspect. And the other issue that you have mentioned is that, again, Pakistan Army will continue to find people who are prepared to obey who are loyal to them, who are prepared to accept their policies, whether it is on Afghanistan or it is on nuclear issues or on against Pakistan and Kashmir issue. So they will continue to find somebody or the other to come to and they will support them into the chair. At the moment, I don't think there is a likelihood of Imran Khan coming back they will probably keep him away. And Shahbaz Sharif is showing his loyalty to Pakistan Army, so he will continue.
Sir, the China factor, sir. China was supposed to invest $62 billion in the China-Pakistan economic corridor, which was supposed to be a win-win for both the partners, because China was finding a way out of the Malacca syndrome, bypassing the Malacca Straits, and Pakistan was to become, if I put it very lightly, become heaven, so as to say, with so much money coming in, having China as a strategic and security partner. But what would the Chinese be thinking of when they look at Pakistan of the present time? Because I know for the past 4 or 5 years, none of the new CPEC projects have come up. It's only the older ones which are running. So how will China be viewing the economic, security and political situation in Pakistan? And will this have an impact on the CPEC?
I think it's already having some impact on the CPEC. You know, all their projects, whether they are power projects or their roads and rail constructions and all that, those are getting delayed. And there is absolutely no doubt that China is a little worried. They are in a bit of a fix, both because of security reasons as well as economic, financial conditions of Pakistan. Let me first take the security situation. The fact is that there have been a large number of attacks on the Chinese personnel lately, both in Balochistan as well as even in Karachi. As you know, they have, at the moment, they have closed down their consulate in Karachi, temporarily at least, they say. And there have been a number of, they have warned their own Chinese employees who are in Pakistan to be careful. So that situation continues. The responsibility given to Pakistan Army to raise almost about 30,000 personnel for the protection of the CPEC and the Chinese employees is not giving them any confidence anymore. So that is the security situation, and beside whatever the TTP is doing all over Pakistan. As far as financial situation is concerned, they've already spent, I believe, about 30 to 40 billion. The project is for 62 billion, but they've already spent about 30 to 40 billion dollars on these ongoing projects. Now they cannot withdraw, obviously, suddenly, and this huge amount that they have spent go waste altogether. And that is one reason why they have agreed to give this loan to Pakistan. Mind you, it's a loan. It's no restructuring of the loans earlier given, and it is no donation given to Pakistan. It's a loan, and it will be on a higher interest rate than even the ones which have been given earlier. So the problem is that having spent so much of money and have their own aim of going to having access to warm water of Arabian Sea, and also the situation in Afghanistan being what it is, anybody can get into that situation. So those geopolitical interests, their own strategic interest, that probably will prevent them from withdrawing totally from Pakistan, and they will continue to help Pakistan to the extent it is possible, so that their own geopolitical and strategic goals can be achieved. But it's a serious situation for China today, and I have no doubt that they would be looking at it. The other thing I must mention to you is that Pakistan going into more and more debt to China. I think the total debt of Pakistan, almost 1/3 of it is because of China. And with that kind of situation, you can expect Chinese coercive diplomacy as far as Pakistan is concerned. You know, they will be able to arm twist them already. So that is another impact that you will be seeing in the present situation.
So Pakistan thinking every day, sir. We have been hearing certain voices out here in India also that India should be helping them out through food, economically, whatever, sir. Do you think, sir, we've been hearing this for a very long time, sir. Whenever Pakistan starts to fail, there are voices in India who say that, look, let us step up and help out Pakistan. Do you think it is advisable, sir, given the hatred, I would say, the Pakistani army has for anything Indian? Do you think that India should be proceeding on these lines?
Yeah, the other day I read somewhere Mr. Dullat saying that Prime Minister Modi will help them out in Pakistan's financial crisis. And there are many people who think like him and who think that we ought to help Pakistan. But I don't know if you feed milk to the snakes, poisonous snakes, you think that they will not bite you? I have for a very long time been saying that, these mad dogs, if you try and feed them, sooner or later they come and bite you.
Sure.
So my own feeling is that these bleeding hearts that we have, and unfortunately we have a number of them who express their views openly. They have absolutely no experience, no knowledge, and they do not believe in following what the history tells them. But you ask any military man or any diplomat who has served in Pakistan, they will tell you that there is no need for us to go anywhere near Pakistan. Let them fend for themselves. There is no question of them. And the other aspect is that why only bleeding hearts are talking about us? Has any Pakistani asked for any help from us?
No.
They haven't. I haven't heard that.
They haven't.
So for me, as far as this kind of talk is concerned, that we need to help Pakistan at this present situation is all nonsense. And I'm definitely not on the side of these bleeding hearts.
The one final question, sir. Jinnah's Pakistan was finished in 1971. Now, do you think that the way the things are evolving in Pakistan, with the Baloch Liberation Army stepping up its attack, TTP is already there, the Pashtuns are restive, do you see that, do you think, sir, it's a hypothetical question, obviously, but given the situation, do you think Pakistan will survive as a state in the present state?
Mayank, my own feeling is that Pakistan will survive as a weaker state than what it has been till now. In all respect, but Pakistan will not break up.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is that, Pakistan army as an institution is very, very strong.
Mm-hmm.
And they will not let Pakistan break up. The other thing is even the international community will also not permit it to break up because they are worried because of geopolitical reasoning and the fact that, nuclear weapons are with Pakistan. So my own feeling is that Pakistan will not break up, but Pakistan definitely will become weaker and weaker, and a pawn in the others, with the others, whether it is China or USA or other countries, and even its Arabian countries, But I don't think it will break up. Internally, it may become weaker also. Pakistan army is very strong today. And the fact is that they have ruled the country for so many years earlier. And they will use their might to make sure that none of these provinces can break away.
On that note, I would like to conclude the conversation, sir. Thank you so much for sparing time for us, sir, and sharing your knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayank. It's always a pleasure.